1765, the governors, from the suggestions of the physicians and surgeons, resolved on removing the infirmary to a more airy and less confined situation, and in 1779 the patients were taken from the old to the present new infirmary. Whereas we had above a month in the Worcester infirmary a perverse woman who took malignant pleasure in disturbing our other patients of the same ward by making such horrid noises in the night and obstructing their recovery. We acquainted the officers of the parish to which the said woman belonged of the necessity of removing her, notwithstanding which they refused to remove or review her. We therefore find ourselves obliged, in order to prevent such a misfortune for the future, to make the following rule: that whoever recommends an inpatient shall name some place to which such an inpatient may be removed, in case the said inpatient, through perverseness or distraction, should greatly disturb the rest of the sick people. The day appointed for the admission of patients is at the weekly board held every Saturday between the hours of 11 and 12. But in cases of fractures or other sudden accidents, the attending physician or surgeon is empowered to admit patients without any recommendation. The infirmary as a public building holds a very respectable rank among the ornamental structures of the city. Edward Garlick was on the board of Bristol Hospital. He was a Bristol sugar baker. He supported the abolition of slavery, while his business imported sugar on ships that were funded by the transport of slaves. In 1764 he had a dispute with the board of Bristol Hospital and turned to his interests in hospital design. At the head of the list of benefactors to this building, which was put up in the committee room, the name of Edward Garlick of Bristol is placed as a benefactor of £500, used for purchasing the ground whereon to build the new infirmary, and its north ward is thence called by his name. In their letter of thanks, the governors of the new infirmary asked him for his advice on their design for Worcester Infirmary. He sent the following recommendations: make a commodious building to afford future expansion, build lofty wards 14 foot high to give an appearance of dignity and to make the air more pleasant. The washer room that gives off steam and bad smells should be at a sufficient distance from the wards, but the private necessities for water closets should be situated within the greatest convenience for the wards, and should be provided with an adequate supply of water at whatever cost. Wide stone stairs should be installed to allow access for patients and as a fire escape. Edward Garlick lived to see the building in use, and he died in 1781. Sir John Rushout was a primary 18th century benefactor and foundational supporter of the original Worcester Infirmary, which later featured a dedicated Rushout ward, historic Castle Street site. The building of this infirmary was begun in March 1767 using Bath stone and bricks made on Pitchcroft. The cost of its erection was £6,085, 9 shillings and sixpence. Its architect was the ingenious Mr. Anthony Keck, who afterwards built the Church of St. Martin in Worcester. The infirmary is situated on the south side of Salt Lane, leading from Foregate to Pitchcroft, and on an eminence that commands a most extensive and exhilarating prospect over Severn, comprehending the whole range of Malvern Hills with the intermediate and surrounding country. The plan of the building is judicious and appropriate to its purpose, varying in very few instances from that of Gloucester. Its apartments are airy and spacious. Elevation comprises two irregular and handsome fronts to east and west. Its north and south ends present a uniform and handsome appearance. Its entrance is provided in its east front. It is accommodated with a very extensive garden ground, beneficial to the patients for their exercise, as well as from the abundance it produces, not only for their diet, but also for their medicinal purposes. In 1932, the Prince of Wales visited Worcester to open the newly widened bridge, the extension to Cripplegate Park, and he visited the infirmary, the connotation Worcester Royal Infirmary. The Worcestershire Royal Hospital is an acute general hospital located in Charles Hastings Way. It's managed by the Worcestershire Acute Hospitals NHS Trust. The old infirmary building, much of which was demolished, is now being used by Worcester University.